Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I've got a cool tool alert, and what this is the Klein Tools Drill Tap Kit. And what that's all about is essentially they're Klein tool drill bits that have a built-in or an integrated tap right along the shaft of the drill bit, so as it's drilling it also becomes a tap. So in one step you both drill and tap the hole. And I got excited about these because obviously during the pandemic a lot of us are doing video chats, and I had a handful of old webcams like this lying around, old Logitechs, that were designed to sit on top of computers, and you know, it was a kind of a strange design, old days where we had fat monitors. But what I wanted to do was convert these into something that I could easily drop right onto a tripod. And there's no tripod mount here. I disconnected some, wrap wire, tried a few different things. But what I really needed to do was send a drill bit right through this part and then tap the hole. And I discovered, using a magnet, that there's actually metal inside here. So I ended up playing around a little bit and then settled on using these in order to do it all in one step. So the way this works, I've actually drilled one out here to show you, is just figure out where you want the hole. I used a punch to make a pilot, and then this slides in like a normal drill bit. In fact, I can do it. Oh, by the way, it's a standard quarter-inch hex, so it drops right into most tools. So if I go in, it actually drills, and then it gets to a point where it begins the tapping process, and that's see that? There we go. And then I'll carefully bring it out, and that's what it would be like. Of course, not that quickly. And then I also go to the hardware store and I get lots of parts, different quarter 20 shafts, connectors, wing nuts, bolts, nuts, and even this, which is basically a stud. I can screw this into wood, and then I've got a quarter 20 mount. And by using all of these different things, I can take almost anything I can drill a hole in and turn it right into a tripod, or a tripod mount. Of course, I can use a tripod. I'll just screw this guy in and show you. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 there it is. And I've got my highly usable webcam that I can use with a laptop or a desktop or whatever. Highly mobile, very simple, folds up. This particular thing repurposed an old webcam, which these are easy to find right now. The good ones, the 4K, are like quite a while out in back order, but a lot of these you can get a hold of, and they have really good lenses. In fact, it's Carl Zeiss lens. It's just a wonky design, so a lot of people give up on trying to use them. A couple other things. Cable management's important. This is a cable cuff. If you've never used these, they're pretty handy. It's a little ratcheting mechanism, allows you to quickly open and close it. I also use these. You can buy these. Night Eyes makes them. They're basically just a coated wire, which allows you to quickly control the cables without a lot of work. And in fact, instead of spending money on these, why don't you just go get some wire, and you can just feel the wire, get the different gauge that you want. This might be 12 gauge, and then just snip off a piece. By the way, these are the Klein, what is the number on these? J2000s. And these are amazing. They're huge. They're 9 inches long. Talk about a gigantic pair of cutting tools. I absolutely love them. I'll be doing a review on these guys. Amazing tools. They're about 40 bucks, but just dynamic. I describe them as having a machine shop in your pocket. Anyway, so you can just get a nice piece of wire and do pretty much the same thing. I'll just quickly do it here and just wrap that around, and there's my cable management. One other thing I want to point out that I've done you can just always get inner tubes and so your Milwaukee shears, and then there you go. And because these particular inner tubes behave much like rubber bands, you can of course double them around, and they don't degrade like rubber bands do. So that'll stay for quite a while. Cable cuffs come in different sizes if you want to use them for larger things. I find they're a little on the clunky side when they get bigger. And one other thing I wanted to point out is when you're doing any kind of drilling like this, obviously you want safety glasses. In my opinion, these are some of the best right here. Snap-on, actually, I don't know what their current version looks like. I think they're rebranded Uvex. But I really like the design. They're for the price, they're highly competitive. I think they're about, I think I paid between $12 and $14 for something like this. Like you can get them yellow lenses, you can get them, well, different colored lenses. What's good about them is you see I can actually adjust the angle of the eyepiece and the length of the eyepiece. So I can make it fit, and most people's ears are not exactly in the same spot, so I can actually adjust it perfectly for my ears and for the job. And sometimes I may want to tip it down a little bit to get better coverage under my eye, because I might be working close to something and I don't want anything to fly up underneath. Of course, I can also raise it up to give a full coverage directly in front of my eye. And I really haven't had much trouble with any scratching. I'm very careful with them compared to what I've seen in a lot of... I don't toss them in toolboxes. I hang them up in my toolbox. But I've tried a few others. These are actually old Craftsman ones I got probably 30 years ago. And I still use them for some things. They're kind of hilarious. But they work. And then I gave the Milwaukees a shot. They're kind of dusty because they're too dark. But Milwaukee's getting into the sunglass market. I have a feeling these are probably from the same factory or next door factory, because so much of the operation of it looks very similar. But you can get them for outside work. And then these are just the standard ones you'd see, almost like the chemistry lab type. So definitely have them handy. Get good ones. Put them all over the place and use them. So with that, Doc out.